I think that I'll be the first to say that I have questions about the long ending of Mark, but I do think that there's solid evidence that the long ending of Mark is very old. But I also think that ancient Christianity's knowledge of questions about it is equally old. And I am very skeptical of the tests that people apply to exclude the long ending of Mark, because I think you find scholars applying those tests to other parts of Mark and excluding those passages as well, sometimes seriously and sometimes in jest, to point out the irony of it. The persuasive power that Ehrman has is not the profundity of his arguments. He's a great scholar, and he can make great arguments, but that's not what persuades students. I wish they were persuaded by great arguments. I would be more persuasive probably. But they're persuaded by the fact that their very first introduction to any of these issues is in his class. And he's the first one to bring to their attention that, you know what, there's a lot of scholars don't think the woman caught in adultery belongs in the text. And they raise serious questions about, well, who can I trust? And it's not because there's a kind of conspiracy, well, they didn't want you to know that. And that's not the case. We just have done a really bad job of dealing with these things. These are the kind of things that need to be talked about in Bible study groups. These are the kind of things that need to be talked about in Sunday school classes. These are the kind of things that need to be talked about from the pulpit. We can't shy away from them anymore. We haven't been left that option, nor should we ever have shied away from them. In that respect, I think the critics, guys like Dr. Ehrman, are doing us a great favor. Because now all of a sudden we got to man up and say, you know what? No, guys like Dan Wallace doesn't think the long ending of Mark belongs in the Bible, nor does he think the story of the woman caught in adultery. And he may very well be right. And he's an evangelical. He loves God. He loves God's word. And you got to pay attention to that guy.